Today we received a package from Walmart. I did go ahead and place an order of the Miniverse Make It Mini Food Cafe Series 3. They were on clearance, so I thought it was a great idea to go ahead and stock up on some and use them to make recipes for Cinco de Mayo. I'm not too sure what we'll get on the capsules, so based on what we get, it will depend on what we make, but I'll try and keep it Mexican themed just in celebration of Cinco de Mayo. So let's go ahead and open up our first capsule and let's see what we get. Does anybody know when Wave 2 is going to be released for Series 3? It seems like for this one we have some baked potatoes. I know exactly what we're going to make with these. These typically have the resin a little bit not fully sealed, so it does drip out a little bit, but it's typically not a huge problem. I think I've opened 3 and I think all 3 had the same issue. I think you just need to close up the container a little bit more. We also have some chives. What we'll be making is gansito. So I'm going to put a picture of what a gansito looks like right here. That way you're able to see what we'll be making. But last time that we made the baked potatoes, I really like the consistency that you get when you mix it with resin. It almost looks like a cake batter. So I think that will help us with what we're going to make. So let's grab our mold. We need some chocolate. We're going to need... They typically have, I think, strawberry jam, but this one will definitely work. This is the raspberry jam from Mini Brands. What else do we need? We're going to need some sprinkles, only the black ones, so we'll use the ones that came with the Halloween series. I want to see if I'm able to really replicate them in the way they are constructed. It might be a complete fail, but hey, we'll give it a shot. So let's go ahead and grab one of the potatoes. And we need to just take out the inside. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead and just take this part and put it on our little bowl. This is a type of kinetic sand, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what mostly everybody has commented on it being. We're going to grab some of the sour cream, and this is just going to be to mix everything together, get that consistency of like a cake batter. I think I'm going to need a lot more than that. So we're just going to mix away and it'll turn out like this. So now that we have our cake batter made, we need to start constructing our little gansito. We're going to first add a layer of chocolate. I'm going to try and coat all of the little sashimi molds in the chocolate first. So just like this, just giving it one layer and then curing it and doing a second layer of chocolate. We do not want to fill it up with chocolate because we want to add our cake batter, our jam, and I think it also has some cream. So now that we have our chocolate, we're going to grab the cream. The cream is typically, when you bite into it, the first thing that you get. So we'll put the cream first. Just like this. Then, once that is cured, we're going to go ahead and add the jam. This is the raspberry jam that came in the Mini Brands, but let's pretend it's strawberry, okay? So we're going to go ahead and add some of the strawberry jam to each one of them, and it'll look something like this. The next part is going to be, I think, my favorite part, the batter. I really hope we're able to make this work. I think I made a little too much batter, but that's okay. We'll see what else we make. Let me just go ahead and fill these up. They don't have to be perfect. At the end, we'll scrape out as much as we can like this. This way, we're able to get a nice even layer. Once we have this cured, the last step is going to be to add chocolate. I'm concerned now that maybe I overfilled these a little bit, but hopefully it still works out. So let's go ahead and add the last layer of chocolate. Typically, most of the gansitos, when you get them, if you ever have the opportunity of getting one, if you take a look at the bottom, It typically isn't fully covered in chocolate, so I think this is going to work out perfectly. So let's go ahead and add the last layer and get this cured. Are you ready for the moment of truth? Will this work out? Oh no. I don't think it went as planned, but I think this is definitely fixable. We just need to cut them and then file them. So let me go ahead, separate them, and I'm just going to file all of the excess that we have. It's not a lot, so it'll definitely work. They have now been sanded, and I did go ahead and cut one just so you're able to see the layers. I think so far it's working as planned. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of resin at the top to be able to add our sprinkles. I think this is one of the hardest parts because these sprinkles are so tiny, but I'll go ahead and finish adding the rest and let you see what it looks like once everything is added. So all of them have been added. This is what they're looking like so far. I do think that the sprinkles on top look a little bit darker than maybe they should be, but I think we did a good job. I think we're able to see all of the layers. I think they came out great. Look at that. We even see the little jam. How cool is that, right? Our gansitos are done, but we have a lot of this batter left. So how about we use our potato skins and we make some loaded potato skins. Let's go ahead and grab some of the leftover batter. Now we're going to call it mashed potatoes. So let's grab some of our mashed potatoes and we're going to layer and cure. So now that they have been layered and cured, we're going to add some toppings. I was thinking some shredded cheese would go really well with these, some jalapenos. Maybe we can also add some bacon bits. I just went ahead and diced up the little hearts from the Valentine sprinkles, and I think they really look nice. And we're going to just finish topping them off with some sour cream and onion. I did have a little bit of leftover batter still, so I made little dollops of mashed potatoes, and I was thinking we can also make maybe a potato pie. I saw this recipe in a restaurant one day where it was little pies of smashed potatoes, but they had red onions and chives. So I think that's what I'm going to go for now. We're just going to go ahead and grab some of the tarts, and I'm going to add the little leftover mashed potatoes that we had from our potato skins. And with the leftover batter, because we still had some more, I'm going to go ahead and add them to the little pies or tarts. And we're going to go ahead and get these cured as well. So from one capsule, we have made 1, 2, 3.5 recipes. How cool is that, right? So here are the gansitos that we made. They do have some tacky at the bottom just so that they don't move around. I think these are my favorite so far. And then we did also go ahead and make the loaded potato skins with the little, what should we call these? Potato tarts. I think that's a good word for them. Let's go ahead and set this aside, and let's go ahead and grab another capsule. Let's see what we're able to make with this one as well. I'm hoping for some popsicles. I read a comment suggesting that we make some Mexican popsicles. I would love to be able to do that. I do have a popsicle mold, but I did not know that it does not come apart. So I pulled and pulled on it until it unfortunately didn't come apart, but now it's so loose that the resin spills out. So I'm hoping for another one of those molds, but in the meantime, let's see what other recipe I can think of with these ingredients. So let's see. Oh, I know what we can make. So typically we use this as a side. This is not typically a recipe that we would use as a main plate. This would typically be as a side to another main dish. So what we're going to be making today is going to be a chicken pasta salad. This is typically served cold. I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this pasta, but I do have some over here that we'll use first. So let's go ahead and pour in our pasta. The next thing that we need to add is going to be the veggies, but I need to slice these up a little bit finer. So I think we'll add the chicken first. Let me get this opened, and of course I tore it. So let's add all of the chicken in here. Make sure we don't miss any. Then we're going to go in and add in the celery, the carrots, some green onion. So I did go ahead and just slice these up a little thinner. And of course we need our mayo, which we'll use the sour cream for. So let me just add as much as we can and mix it all together. I did not think this through. I'm not going to be able to mix it here. So what should I grab to mix it with? I ended up grabbing one of the capsule lids to mix it up together, and I did cure it in layers. The next thing that we're going to do is another pasta, but this is going to be a hot link macaroni cold salad. I don't know what the best way to name this recipe would be. This is such a common recipe that we make when we make a guisado. So if you have ever been invited to a traditional Mexican wedding or Mexican celebration, they typically make tons and tons of this to serve with the main dish, which would be the guisado. So for the guisado, we're going to use the pork loin from the mini brands, and we're going to use the potatoes that came in this capsule. I just diced them up very finely, and this is going to make our guisado. So we're going to be making a guisado rojo. So we're going to need some red chili sauce. We'll go ahead and grab some of the tomato reduction because it has that perfect color to it. And here is our Mexican Cinco de Mayo celebration plate. We have a chile rojo or chile colorado with our pasta salad. And the pasta salad, I use the traditional one that we make, which is the macaroni with mayo and hot links. And here is the gansitos that we had already made. So we've made a couple of dishes, but do you think we can make one more? I certainly think so. So let's go ahead and grab another capsule and let's see what we get. I'm trying to think of the recipes that come with Cafe Series 3 just to see what we could make in case we get one of them, but nothing is coming to mind just now. But maybe when we open up the first little bag, we'll know what we'll make. It feels boxy, but let's see what it is. Okay, so we have these snow cones. Oh, I know what we can make. I know exactly what we'll be making. We're going to be making mangonada snow cones. I think we're going to set this resin aside and we're going to use yellow resin. So for that, we're going to be using, I think for this one, we'll go with the mustard one that we have. I think that would be the perfect color. So let me go ahead and pour out some of it in a container and add in the crushed ice. Let's go ahead and do that now. Here is what I was able to take out. Not much because these were just leftovers, but if we need to, I'll look for another one that I might have that's new. Let's go ahead and give this a very, very good mix. Maybe we can even add some clear resin. It typically doesn't change the color too much, so if we need to, we'll do that. We're going to go ahead and start adding some of this resin to our little snow cones. I'm going to cure them in layers. I've learned that it's very important to cure in layers with miniverse or with anything resin. If not, then sometimes unfortunately we have that unfortunate surprise where you grab something and your fingers are all sticky and the resin is dripping. So always best to do in layers. I'm going to try and add a picture of a mangonada. Here locally they typically add a little, I want to say it's called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a tamarindo stick and it has chili on it. So I tried to replicate that. I added some mangoes, some chamoy, some tajin, all using miniverse and mini brands ingredients. So let's go ahead and recap what we made. We have here the gansitos. I think these are my favorite. We had, of course, the snow cones. We have the chicken pasta salad. We also did the macaroni, hot dog salad. Then we have our guisado de chile colorado or chile rojo with pork and potatoes. We have our loaded potato skins and our potato tarts. Which one of these was your favorite? Please let me know in the comments which one you like the best. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate every single one of you. So you choose snow cones, gansito, guisado, potatoes. You let me know. Bye everybody.